I'm Bob Sievers, and I'm a hemp farmer and a hemp scientist, and I specialize in making products from hemp. And I'm joined today by my daughter, Christie Sievers Spencer, and she has a little different aspects of her background and her interests than I do. I like to be in the field growing the hemp, finding ways to make it better, finding ways to harvest it and dry it and purify it. And she tends to take it from there and take the pure materials and formulate them. It can be anything from a salve or a lotion that would go through the skin to tablets that are put under the tongue for sublingual delivery, to powders that are inhalable, to products that are water soluble. There's not much cannabinoid in the hemp stalk, but it forms the basis of these giant plants that grow very rapidly. It starts out from a tiny seed the size of a celery seed. In May, we put them in the ground, and either as seeds or as clones that we have prepared beforehand in greenhouses and then transplanted out into the open. And you see here that there are many branches that come off of the main stalk. They're about 7 feet tall, which is a little bit taller than we are. And the larger ones now, in the better strains, are weighing as much as 27 pounds. So they're really substantial plants. And so from May, when they're planted, until September and October when they're harvested just before the frost. This is a remarkable growth plant, and it takes carbon dioxide out of the air. It sequesters carbon, and so it benefits in environmental ways as well.
Can you tell us some of the benefits about CBD and some of the other cannabinoids that are extracted from hemp plants?
Sure. There are more than 100 different cannabinoids that have been detected in hemp, and several other classes of compounds like terpenoids that provide the fragrance of hemp. The most important properties are reduction of pain, reduction of inflammation, reduction of the frequency of seizures in the case of especially children who have serious forms of epilepsy, so that while a person with Dravet syndrome might have hundreds of seizures during a day, that can be reduced to 1 or 2 a month. With appropriate treatments with CBD. And that's been an approved product by the Food and Drug Administration, and in Europe there are other cannabinoids that are being studied and in some cases are already approved for use medically. Now, there's a terrible increase in the numbers of our veterans that come back with serious post-traumatic stress syndrome, and that's led to suicides. It's led to people needing help with their mental health and counseling and all that sort of thing after they've come back from a war zone where they're under constant stress. So stress is important. There are things like motion problems, Parkinson's, restless leg syndrome, a whole array of things that people sometimes have that can be treated with cannabidiol. The negotiations that are going on between the federal government through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the other regulatory agencies of the government, and each individual state, and incidentally, each Indian tribe is treated as a sovereign nation, and now we're down to the hard nitty-gritty of negotiations that say what you can do and what you can't do, and what regulations you have to follow, and what labeling there is on the containers that have hemp products in them. And so this is an industry that is blooming, and the revenues that are coming in many states are being used for schools and for all kinds of beneficial purposes. And most importantly, though, the medical benefits are being recognized both here and in the most active countries in the world that are doing research, like Israel and like Brazil and like countries in the European Union. All of this is playing into and we're being educated by following the literature. While there are still problems with shipping things across state lines, knowledge isn't restricted by state lines. And so you carry that with you, whether you go to a neighboring state or you stay in your home state. And that's a benefit, and it's a benefit to be able to read the foreign publications. And we don't have to be there and do it ourselves, as long as we trust who is doing the work and that it's sound and well designed and carefully conducted. In the future, I think the sky is the limit. There are many, many things that we could conceive of that we ought to examine these for. I hope to be a part of that.